Hi, Dimitri. All right. Got somebody here. How are you doing, buddy? We're going to talk about a couple of ideas. The sun was in my face this morning. I'm facing the east. For the last two classes, it has gotten far enough up in the sky that it is overhead. Uh-oh, we have a crisis. Come here. Come here. Somebody has managed to get into the room that's not supposed to be here. There may be some serious barking going on. I managed to squeeze a sandwich in before class started, and it was a minute or two late. I'm gonna get started anyways, and a lot of this is review because people are lingering or slowly getting into these. I will have an assignment put on there. It's not difficult, but we're gonna go over everything today. He's too busy. I can hear him. He's in the front room in the window barking at the squirrels. That's more important to him than hanging out with me. Do say hi to Harold. Harold's our other guy that's always here today. Don't forget to say hi to Harold. I'm going to start and end each session with some bumper music, what they call bumper music. And it is my daughter playing her keyboard slash synthesizer. It's all her fingers. It is all her playing live music that I recorded last night. So let's talk about what a few terms are that's going to help you do this sheet. And I actually have two computers set up in front of me, so I'm kind of looking back and forth quite a bit. And so we're going to start off with a term. I'm going to type a term in, and if you have any idea what a light year is, go ahead and answer that. I'll be waiting here a second. And Mr. Fosnight has joined us. Dimitri, if you can get a hold of anybody in your class, I know you guys text. I'm sorry, but it's noon. You guys all need to be up. You need to be online. You need to be in this class. You're getting credit for being in this class. We are also talking about some incentives for you guys to participate. We'll be working on that. So, any idea what a light year is? What is a light year? You're like 99% there because it's a measure of this. It's a measure of distance, which is really saying how far light can travel, right? Not how fast light can travel, but how far light can travel. And so a light year, it's a measurement, it's a unit of distance, because we don't want to say, oh, billions and billions of miles. It's a lot easier to measure things in light years. So it's just a smaller unit of measurement to measure vast distances in space. How fast light moves, it moves about 300,000 kilometers per second. I've always done this with classes before. If you take your hands and clap your hands about a second. So in the time that you can clap your hands in that 1 second interval, light would actually be able to travel around the Earth about 8 times. Eight times in the matter of a second. It just takes minutes for light to get from the sun to the Earth. I think, if I remember correctly, it's about 8.5 minutes, something like that. And so how far is a light year? It's this far. It is actually 10 trillion, I had to check my spelling, kilometers. I tell you something funny, while I've been teaching these lessons tonight, I can hear or this morning, I can hear a woodpecker back in the trees going to town on a tree back there. I wish I could go out there and catch him, but I could hear him rapidly pounding on a tree there. 10 trillion kilometers. So basically, it just makes it easier for us to measure vast distances in space. This is the name of the nearest star to us. Proxima Centauri. Proxima Centauri. That's the closest star to us, and it's this far away, 4.3 light years. That's quite a distance. If we did the math on that, we would have to take 4.3 and multiply it times 10 trillion. I said that right, trillion kilometers. 4.3 times 10 trillion kilometers. So a million has 6 zeros. A billion has 9 zeros. A trillion has 12 zeros behind it. So we're talking about big numbers and vast distances. This is why we use that term, a light year. The other term we'll use is this. It's called an AU. Okay. And an AU, its technical name is an astronomical unit. Sorry. You'll see it simply as an AU. It is approximately, and this is approximate, it's about 150 million miles. 150 million kilometers, or about 93 million miles. Okay. I don't know if that 93 million miles looks familiar, but where we come up with an astronomical unit is it's very Earth-centric. What I mean by that is it's totally based off of us here on Earth, because it's the average distance between the sun and the Earth. So one astronomical unit is the distance between, yes, it's a distance between the sun and the Earth. So if we're measuring distances between planets, would it make more sense to use astronomical units, which we'll call AUs, or light years? What would make more sense if we're just measuring planets? It really totally makes the most sense. Yeah, I had put the nearest, thanks for, the nearest star is, those are approximations. And that's basically 4.3 light years is the nearest star. And you know what? I wanted to say something. I said this the other day. When we're talking about the distance in outer space and how far it is, I'll say this. Space is so vast. It's really hard for us to grasp and understand it. And I think it really makes me question, all right, so if it's really that far, I mean, if it's really 40.3 trillion kilometers away, can I even get there in my lifetime? What the knowledge that we have, it would take generations to get to just to the nearest solar system, and we don't even know if there's a planet on that solar system that would support life. From a religious standpoint, one of the things I have said is, you know, if God has created us, why couldn't he have created other beings far away too? Anything's possible. We don't know. We don't understand those things. It's an amazing world we live in. It's an amazing solar system that we live in. It's an amazing universe that we live in. And it's vast beyond anything that we can comprehend. Getting back to some of the things that we're talking about. So we'll be doing some things on this worksheet that I'm going to give you that measures distance in stars and just talk about those vast differences in space. Remember, some of the stars most of the stars that we are familiar with, like Betelgeuse, Vega, Polaris, Sirius, Proxima Centauri, there's a million of them out there, billions actually, are the brighter ones and then they're usually part of constellations. And constellations are those basically drawings that we've made in the sky, things that we see in the sky, and we connect the dots, and they end up being an image that we think we know: a cross, a swan, a fish, a hunter, a bear. You can go on and on. All right, so this worksheet that I'm going to be uploading for you today has to do with light years, and mostly light years. I don't know if there's any questions about astronomical units. No, it just kind of defines it. And so I want you to practice that just so you have an idea of how to measure a light year. And it's just simple math. It's not anything more than addition, subtraction, division. or multiplication. And I know all you guys can do that. Getting back to something else, if you came to school to pick up a packet and you were in 6th grade, you got a book to do a book report on. And so I'm going to ask you if you've done it, if you've written it out. What I need you to actually do is, hopefully you've typed it out. If you haven't typed it out, I'm not sure maybe you haven't done anything. If you read the book, that is an assignment, again, that's going to be part of your grade for this quarter, this grading period. You can just put it on a Google Doc and share it with me. Obviously put the name of the book on it and what you're doing. Get that assignment in. Please make sure you are talking to your classmates about what's going on, and that from here on out until we are told that we're coming back to school, this is how we're doing school. And you can email me anytime. And some of you have. And hopefully I have helped you guys work some of this stuff out. And my email, I just put it. Is it okay if I only write my book report? Well, let me just say this. That's a really good question, but if you've already written it out, that's okay. I think the plan is I don't know when they're going to allow us to come back to school, but we do have a spring break. If this shutdown of everything is extended, which we don't know, it might be, then we virtually are going to be spending the last grading period of our school year working from home, in which case I have to get it one way or another. If you haven't done it already, I would expect that you can write it out, type it out. If you're not any good at typing, but there's a family member that is, then write it out and they could type it out on a Google Doc for you. If you're just pegging away, I understand, but we do need to get stuff in. I'd love to have it and look at it and being able to put a grade in the grade book for you. If you haven't done it, I'm going to tell you right now, if you haven't done it already, I could meet you at Acme, but I don't want your coronavirus, and you don't want mine. We could do that. I'm actually willing to do that if we needed to. We are supposed to shelter in place as much as possible, but you, especially Dimitri, I'm counting on you to, cooties. Get with your classmates. I know you got buddies in that class and you guys text and communicate. We need to have participation. 7th graders were awesome today. We had almost everybody on the live stream, and we need to have, that was at 11. So right now, 8 o'clock is or 8th grade is at 10, 11, or 7th grade is at 11, and 6th grade is at 12. I appreciate you taking the time. It's not like you're doing anything. It's not like, I don't think your mom's making you paint the exterior of the house or anything while we're on break. Put in the effort. Please do it. I can get some grades in the book for you. I'll be able to communicate back and forth with you. Any assignment that you get from me, chances are you're not going to be able to manipulate the document that I send you. So you're just going to have to use a Google Doc, type on the Google Doc, share it with me, and I will grade things that way. That's all I know how to do at this point. Remember, I'm old enough to be a grandfather, not quite as sophisticated as some of the younger teachers. I'm very happy that you guys are with us in Google Classroom. I had a couple other kids that were trying their best to get logged in and couldn't get logged in. And so I've finally seen some people showing up this week. We worked out some problems. That's awesome. This is going to end real quick if you don't have any questions right now. But don't forget, and I've tried to be pretty responsive, don't forget that you can email me anytime, and I'll do my best to email you back, even if it's in the evening. I do have a personal life, but even that's on hold a little bit with not being able to go anywhere. But I appreciate you guys that have showed up, for showing up. And so let's end with a little bumper music. Again, this is my daughter. This is stuff that she's learned the past week while she's been on break, and this is her playing it on her digital keyboard. So we'll end with that. I was hoping to have a surprise visit from Ducky today, but Ducky didn't make it. It's good bumper music. You know, bumper music is what you start and end the show with. All right, you take care, guys. Be safe. Say goodbye to Harold.